Okay, we are live. Just going to jump into the chat here. And if you aren't logged into the chat below, all you have to do is click on set name in the bottom right. Just enter your name and you're good to go. All right, and just something you should know is that the technology I'm using today is Google Hangouts, and there is a slight delay when we are running a live streaming Hangout like this. So just so you know, if you just notice a little bit of a delay, that's why. But I'll be sure to keep an eye on the chat box, make sure everyone is able to hear me, and make sure that you get your questions answered. I see Pamela has just joined us from New Jersey. Ken here, fired up and ready to go. I like to hear that. I just want to make sure you're able to hear me and you are able to see my screen. And it looks like, yes, okay, awesome. I'm getting yes, yes, great. Awesome. So first off, I want to thank you for joining me today, for taking the time out of your day. And if at any point you can't see my screen, if you can't hear me, if you have any problems, just refresh the page. That's pretty much the answer to everything with this technology. We've got Kirsty in the UK. That's where I am right now. Jeremy from Brampton, Ontario, just north of Toronto. I know Ontario because I'm from Detroit. Got Marie. All right. It looks like the people who are having trouble hearing me are able to hear me now and see. We've got Jen Vasquez from San Jose, California. Jen, I'm moving out your way. I'm headed to San Diego this spring to live. Very excited about that. Sarah, thanks for joining us. So take a moment, introduce yourself in the chat, tell me what you do and where you are. I've got Trish from Vero Beach, Florida. J. London Images is from Atlanta. Bill's in Chicago. Ooh, I know Chicago's chilly right now. Ashley's in Delaware today. Might change tomorrow. I hope you're excited and you're ready to learn. Jen, oh, trust me, I already do love California. San Diego and San Jose are really close together compared to where I am right now in San Diego. So, oh wow, no, Tasha in Nairobi, Kenya, a place I've always wanted to visit. We've got Miranda, who is a wedding and event planner in Chicago. Jen specializes in bright, happy, and fun family photos. Sarah in Southampton. Debbie from Rhode Island. From Torquay, England. I still have a hard time when I see that Quay in English place names. I always want to say Quay. Montgomery, Alabama, Greenbelt, Maryland. We've got people from all over the place. This is pretty cool. Natasha's a wedding and event planner from Nairobi. Ooh, exciting. And if you see anyone who is near you, or even if they're not and you think they're cool, connect with them. Nicole Gesmondi, I'm going to guess that's how you pronounce that, in Providence. Awesome. Well, I hope you guys are excited. I want to respect your time, so let's get right into it. Today, we're going to go through the 4 steps to finally attracting more couples and booking more weddings. Sound good? All right. So, I have a question for you. What if, instead of struggling to book weddings, you could attract all the couples you need? What would that be like? What would that mean for you and your business and your financial well-being and your mental well-being? Can you imagine how amazing that would be? I'm doing my best to keep an eye on the chat. So I want to lay out what you're going to learn today. So you're going to learn the one key difference between wedding businesses that struggle and those that thrive, the 4-step process to booking more weddings, the foundational piece that most wedding professionals neglect and that can render your marketing useless, why blogging is so important and what you should write about, and how to make turning potential clients into paying customers a whole lot easier. Trish says financial freedom. I'm all about that. Would hire someone to do the admin work and be able to do more creative work, says Pamela Winter. I'm all about that. Outsourcing is awesome. Okay, so if we've never met before, let me introduce myself. I'm Heidi Thompson, and I'm a huge marketing geek. I'm the founder of Evolve Your Wedding Business, and I'm originally, as you can probably hear from my voice, from the US. I'm from Detroit, and I'm currently living in the UK. So just to bring you up to speed on how I got to where I am, I started off, once I graduated from university, working in nonprofit organizations like the American Red Cross, working in their fundraising events. And I absolutely loved doing these events. They were so much fun. And I came across a listing for an assistant position, more of an intern really, for a local wedding planner. And I started working with her. It was an amazing experience. It really introduced me to the wedding industry from this events industry that I had been in. And although I knew that being a wedding planner was not for me, too much stress, kudos to those of you who can handle it, I knew that I still wanted to somehow be involved in this industry. So when I moved to the UK, to focus on getting a job. So I worked in a couple different areas, really. It couldn't be more different. Academic, I worked at the University of Cambridge. I worked at Sendable, which is a social media startup in London. And I was the digital marketing manager in those positions. I love marketing. But I was really missing the wedding industry. So I noticed that what was really being presented to couples here in the UK wasn't really what I was hearing from people that they wanted. So in the UK, and this might be different where you are, but a lot of what is presented at wedding fairs and in wedding media is white, fluffy, feminine. And I kept coming across blogs that had a huge following because they were going for a more alternative experience, a more personal wedding. So I founded the Alternative Wedding Fair, and I started it in London, and it was a blast. I got to bring together some of the most creative people I've ever met in my life and bring these creative, awesome, quirky couples to them. Now, this is when I noticed, and it was a huge slap in the face for me, but you're probably going to laugh at me, that, oh my God, Heidi, not everybody studies marketing like for fun. This was a huge realization for me, and I didn't even realize it until I had exhibitors asking me questions, or I would see them doing something and I would take it upon myself to coach them to help them improve their strategy at the wedding fair so that they could get more out of it. And it was a huge smack in the face. I assumed that what I knew, everybody knew. And it turns out wedding professionals tend not to study marketing in their spare time. So that is when I knew that I had to take my superpower, which is marketing geekery, and bring it to the wedding industry to help these incredibly creative people just like you. So a little bit about what I've done and where my work has been featured. You'll probably recognize some of these places: Book More Brides, Wedding MBA, Rock and Roll Bride. Some awesome resources if you haven't checked these places out. And I've found that there is one key difference between wedding businesses that struggle and wedding businesses that thrive. And it's those that struggle have not adapted to this new world that we're living in because things have changed a lot. It wasn't that long ago that all marketing was outbound and that people could only be reached in a few different ways. But social media, search engines, blogs have all fundamentally transformed the way people purchase products and services. That's great, but the problem here is that most wedding businesses are still using the same old, outdated, and inefficient marketing methods, and they're just not working as well as they used to. Now, inbound marketing, on the other hand, which is what I'm a big proponent of, brings clients to you like a magnet, focuses on attracting them instead of chasing them around and screaming at them through a megaphone. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you actually bought something from someone based on an outbound marketing tactic like a cold call or an ad? I just looked in the chat and Pamela said, who is also from Motown, marketing vomit face. I promise I will make this easier. I will make it so that it is not vomit face. So here is a visual representation of the difference between outbound marketing and inbound marketing. The traditional, and what most people do, way of doing this is the outbound marketing, standing on the rooftops, screaming, buy me, buy the stuff from me, come book me, as opposed to turning yourself into this client magnet and just drawing people towards you. It's so much easier. Now, the problem is that a lot of wedding professionals don't know how to adapt to this new way of marketing. And it's no longer enough to just put up a website or, quote, get your name out there and hope that somebody's going to contact you, because hope is not a marketing strategy. And that is why I created a 4-step process that's going to help you book more weddings. So let's dive into it. Check on the chat real quick here. Trish, you should be able to see my screen. You won't be able to see me. You should be able to see my little slides. Okay. Yep. That's what I'm experiencing now. Yeah. So let's dive into these 4 steps to booking more weddings. So, step 1 is the foundation. Of course, we'll get into each one of these. Step 2 is building a blog that draws customers in like a magnet. Step 3 is get couples salivating over the prospect of working with you. And then step 4 is getting couples to say, I do to you. And you'll soon find out why I phrased it that way, because this is all a lot like dating. All right. Step 1, like I said, is the foundation. So, a big part of your marketing foundation is defining your ideal client. Your ideal client is the client that you love working with and that you want to focus on working with. Now, your business is not for everyone. That's impossible. So, you may as well focus on the people who it is for. Now, if you're thinking, Heidi, my ideal client is brides or grooms or couples, that is nowhere near specific enough. So, your marketing and your website should focus only on these people because you can't make everyone love you, but you can make your ideal client love you. So, let's think of it this way. If you had a heart attack, God forbid, would you want to go to a cardiologist or would you want to go to a general doctor? I don't know about you, but I would want to go to the cardiologist, and your customers want that specialist too. You can become the go-to person for your ideal client because they want a specialist. If you are known as the wedding planner for quirky, fun, laid-back weddings, people who want that are going to flock to you in droves. So, let's hear from you. I want you to think about your ideal client and tell me in the chat box. Number 1, what wedding blogs do they read? Number 2, how would you describe their personal style? And number 3, what brands and products do they love? These don't have to be related to the wedding industry. It's still helpful. And if you don't know, that's okay. Take a guess. Let me know what you think. So I'm just going to jump into the chat here. Actually, a lot of people have trouble with this ideal client thing because it sounds weird and it sounds abstract. But by answering some of these very specific questions, you'll start to get to know who they are, what they like, what they don't like, which is just important. Pamela Winter said they read Style Me Pretty. They are contemporary, rustic, and relaxed, and not totally sure on what brands they like. It's definitely a good starting place. And if you're having trouble thinking about who your ideal client might be, think about that one client maybe you've had that you wish you could just clone and work with over and over again. You'd be the happiest person on earth. Anano732 says, I'm in South Georgia. My clients probably read Modern Farmer, but you don't know until you ask, do you? We're getting some green wedding shoes. Style Me Pretty again. Gray Lakes Weddings. Bill says his people are fun. They want an entertaining but edgy and creative. And it's okay if you don't know. We've all been in a place where we didn't know. There's nothing wrong with that. Pinterest lovers, high street fashion brand lovers, Starbucks, Rock My Wedding, green wedding shoes again. Understated elegance. I like that for a style. Trish says her people love fashion. They're addicted to Pinterest. They wear and carry Tory Burch. Easy to work with. Jen, read parenting magazines. They have kids, and even better grandkids. Maybe they shop at Nordstrom's. If you haven't had your perfect client yet, I want you to think about who you want to work with. It's okay to be an idealist here. Who is the perfect person? And if you end up working with that person and they're not perfect, that's fine. There's a reason why my business is called Evolve Your Wedding Business. All of our businesses are in a constant state of growth and flux, and you can change and adapt this as you go. I like that, Jackie. They wear leather, smoke, and swear, but with style. They're like Kate Moss. Starbucks carrying college graduates with confidence. You read Offbeat Bride. They're more interested in small business than big expensive brands. It's very good to know. Easy, laid back, have some ideas, but they're open to leaving it to the professional. That's important to know. It looks like if your name has changed in the chat, it's because it has timed out. If you log in with like an actual name, when it does time out, you can just click reconnect. Photogenic says, my clients don't really read blogs because I do ask. Good. I'm glad you're asking. All right, Jen, I'm glad that this is giving you something to think about. Independent coffee shops, Anthropologie. See, that is a different type of person than someone who's really into like designer brands. Nice. This is great. You guys keep them coming, but I am going to move on. So this is from Michelle, who went through Bookmore Weddings Academy when she was very young in her business, just a few months. And she said, when I started Bookmore Weddings Academy, I was feeling really lost and overwhelmed because there are so many things you can do to market your business. I just didn't know where to start. After going through the course, I was able to get really focused on who I wanted to work with. And that made things so much easier to manage because I didn't feel like I was trying to take on the whole world. I'm getting more phone calls and sales are much easier because it's like I'm talking to a friend. It's actually fun now that it's so much easier. And that's from Michelle Navanti. So let's get into step 2, which is building a blog that draws your customers in like a magnet. Now, you may have heard that you should be blogging. I don't like telling people what they should do. I want them to know why they should do something. So I'm going to tell you why this is so important. Google loves fresh content, and more blog posts means more fresh content and that your site is going to have more pages that are indexed with Google. And that's really going to help with your SEO, and it helps you be found. Your blog helps demonstrate your expertise. Anyone can say they're an expert, but you can show it. And according to an unbiased survey of over 14,000 people married in 2011 by Splendid Insights, which is a fantastic resource for market research in the wedding industry, they found that more important than a website is an updated blog. Your website is your business card. The blog is the conversation. For example, 85% of Ritzy B's clients, which is a small wedding business, hired them because of their blog. And those clients then refer via word of mouth. Your blog gives people a reason to come back to your site. I hate to break it to you, but no one's going to come back and keep looking at the same old stagnant pages. And it allows people to get to know you and like you, which of course is incredibly important because we do business with people who we know, like, and trust. If you have blog posts, you can use them in social media to drive traffic to your site. And this makes social media truly and so incredibly useful for your business. When you have interesting content, your website visitors will spend more time on your site reading it. That means they're going to learn more about you and what you have to offer. And when you position yourself as a resource by creating helpful blog posts, instead of just a service provider, you become much more valuable to your potential client, and you really set yourself apart from your competition. Even if every single one of you goes away and works with me and does this, you're still going to be less than 1% of the wedding industry that's doing this. Your website visitors might not be ready to book you when they land on your site. They might be in research mode, but by giving them a reason to come back, they're going to remember you when it's time to buy. And when you build a blog, you're building an asset that will bring you customers for as long as you have it. I wrote about this in a post recently. Some of my most popular posts to this day are older posts, and they bring me traffic on a daily basis. Now, there are even more reasons why blogging is one of the best things that you can do for your business, but I think you probably get the point. So, I want to hear from you now. When it comes to blogging, people often get hung up on what they should write about. And that makes sense. So in the chat box below, I want you to tell me one, or more than one if you feel like it, of the most frequently asked questions that your clients ask you, because these make fantastic blog post topics. A fantastic blog post for someone who's looking to hire a cake maker is going to be about how to figure out what size your cake needs to be. That's helpful. So tell me, give me just one, or more than one if you're feeling chatty, of the most frequently asked questions that your clients or potential clients ask you. Okay, let me just jump in the chat here. Dee said, I recently started a blog on my site and was amazed how fast the post ranked in Google. Yes, it pulled some of my other, and yes, it did pull up some of my other web pages too. Well worth it. Anon5943 says, I don't understand. I blog 2 to 3 times a week all last year with keywords and everything. I don't really show up on Google all that well. There are a lot of things that affect search engine algorithms. Nobody knows all of them. It could have something to do with a small setting on your site even. Graceful Gathering says, been thinking about a blog for a long time. My problem is being too wordy. How long or short should a post be? Love this question. A post should be exactly as long as it needs to be and no longer. When you decide the topic, you decide, okay, I'm giving my 5 tips on X. Give your 5 tips on X. One topic per post. I know it's really easy to want to just keep writing and writing once you're already writing, but use that as different posts. I don't think that there is a specific character length you should go for. Some of my posts are very long, some of my posts are very short, but they all convey the topic. Graceful Gatherings, photos need to be your own. Not necessarily. If there are different rules around this, but there are a lot of good sites where you can get awesome free stock photos that don't look like stock photos. One of which is called Unsplash.com. Fantastic site. But if you are going to use someone else's photos, you need to get their permission and you need to credit them. That is very important. Jen says, I almost always blog about what my clients say or talk about in photo sessions. That's awesome, because if one person is saying it, I'm willing to bet that a lot more people are thinking it. Cabo, blogging has turned out really well for me. The questions my clients ask, I turn into a blog post. Most of the time, it's a question that no one has asked or answered. Let's see. This is a good one. What do I wear for engagement photos? How loud is the band? How current is their music? Yeah, you're going to get questions about price, and you could really spin that into a blog post if you wanted to. Do I have to buy an album? Maybe we got to work on not attracting the kind of clients that want to do it themselves at Walmart. Julia, yes, your name is working. Trish, you want to blog on your own site. Sorry, I'm just reading through these. Sue, I would not suggest using Blogger, and I would not suggest using WordPress.com, because both of those are independent platforms outside of your website. So if your website runs on WordPress, like mine does, then you just create your blog on WordPress. And if it doesn't run on WordPress, you can still have a WordPress blog installed. You just want to make sure that it's on your website. Okay, we've got some questions here. Should I do postcard or envelope? Yeah, for stationery, I'm sure there are tons of questions. How do I word it? What's the best way to do RSVPs? I think your blog shouldn't really have a name. I mean, unless you're running a separate blog and it's its own business. Anon 8201 is a florist and doesn't want to give away too much information. Don't worry about that, because those DIY people are not your clients. They're not going to work with you anyway, because they're going to get the information from somewhere else. You don't have to show them step by step how you do things, but don't worry. Trust me. I give away tons of information. And actually, you could sell to those DIY brides. You could sell them a workshop where you teach them how to do it. All right, let's move on. Got some great topics going there. So step 3 is all about getting couples salivating over the prospect of working with you. And every part of your website influences your sales. So that means the way you describe your offers can either increase or decrease your sales. Every page needs to be working for you, from your about page to your services page. And testimonials can actually do a lot of the selling for you if you use them properly. The biggest mistake people make when asking for testimonials is emailing their clients and saying, "Hey, could you write me a testimonial?" The reason why this is such a big mistake is they don't know what you want. They don't know what you want to include. Maybe they've never written a testimonial before. You're asking them for something. And then you're also adding on this additional work for them by not giving them specific instructions. So instead, send them questions to answer. Like, how would you describe working with me? Why did you choose to work with me instead of another wedding planner? What should someone know about working with? What should someone know who's considering hiring us? These sorts of questions. And then you can put those answers together to craft your testimonial, ask them for their approval, get a photo, and add it. All of my testimonials are done in this way. Step 4, getting couples to say, "I do" to you. Sales is just like dating. It's freakishly like dating. And you wouldn't just walk up to someone at a bar and ask them to marry you, right? I hope not. Might be a little weird. Then you shouldn't do that to your potential clients. You need a game plan for taking these potential clients from total strangers to totally in love with you. And that plan is called a sales cycle. Now, step by step, they move through your sales cycle, getting to know and love you more and more, and getting closer to being ready to make the commitment of working with you. And the real beauty of having a sales cycle like this is that you can systematize it so that it is simpler to make sales. Who doesn't want that? There are a lot of parts of it that you can actually put on autopilot. Now, that means that even during your super busy wedding season where you don't have time to go to the bathroom, there can be people moving through your sales cycle without you having to do a thing. When you have a sales cycle that turns potential clients into paying clients, you can then shift your focus to bringing in leads and doing the work that you started this business to do in the first place. And you can even refine it over time so that you're only focusing on marketing where you generate the most leads. For example, I know from my Google Analytics that I get more email subscribers from Twitter than I do Facebook. That's going to make your marketing and your life a whole lot simpler because you're going to be more focused. So I want to take you through my sales cycle in a nutshell. Now, first, the prospect discovers me. This is the very beginning. They discover me and they visit my website. Then they see one of my free opt-in offers and they sign up for it. They enter their email. And this is the most important part because when you have someone's email added to an email list in this way, you can market to them afterwards. Next, the prospect automatically gets whatever it was that was promised to them, an ebook, a checklist, a video. Then the prospect enters into an autoresponder series of emails. And just a quick definition, an autoresponder is just a set of emails that you set up in your email marketing tool that goes out automatically based on certain triggers. It could be based on the day. So you could send them an email on the first day they sign up, 5 days later, 2 days after that. And there are lots of other triggers, but the day is often the one that's used. But I use these to build trust and credibility, and I include opportunities to work with me. Now, after the autoresponder series finishes, the prospect starts getting my weekly emails, which you probably get, with tips, blog posts, and also opportunities to work with me. Now, that prospect is going to get my weekly emails for as long as they're subscribed to my list. And this is important. Even if they never work with me, they're valuable because they spread the word to others. There are people who have been on my list for years and who I've never worked with, but I know for a fact that they share every single one of my blog posts on social media, and I am incredibly grateful for that. Let me just jump into the chat here and make sure. Pamela Winter, a call to action on every page, most definitely. Julia says, it is like dating, and I've been with the same guy since I was 16, so no dating experience. Maybe that's why I'm here. Anon 0582, could I ask for more examples of questions to ask on a testimonial request? Definitely. I ask, how did you find out about me? Why did you choose me as opposed to working with someone else? How would you describe working with me? In my business, I'm helping people change their business, obviously. So I ask what changes occurred as a result. What type of person would you recommend me to and why? Questions like that. Jen, I do not automatically send my weekly blogs out. I actually go in and create those emails, but I do create them ahead of time. Yeah. And Jay London, I can teach you how to set up this system. Don't worry. It's not as hard as it seems. Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you. Sorry, I got really excited. Anonymous, we have 8201. Don't call it a newsletter. Oh, calling it a newsletter is the kiss of death. All right. So this is my sales cycle in a nutshell. Here is another representation of it and how people move through. So first, they don't know you exist. Then they've heard about you, but they don't really have any reason to care about you yet. Then they're slightly interested in hearing what you have to say because maybe they've read some of your blog posts. Then they will look at competitors, sometimes, not all the time, and then they'll become a customer. And because you're providing value, you're going to stand out against your competitors. So this is a big topic, email marketing and sales cycles. So this is just the tip of the iceberg, but I want to give you something actionable. Think about what a prospect needs to know before they book you, or something they need to understand or believe. For me, people need to know that something isn't working in their business and they need to make changes to their marketing. What pages on your site do they need to see? What questions do they need answered? Share those with me in the chat box. What do people need to know before they work with you? And I want you to think about this from like a psychological standpoint. So before, not just, oh, they need my price and they need to call me, before they decide on you specifically, how are they going to know you're a good fit? How are they going to know they're going to be happy with their decision? So definitely share these with me. Jen says, my clients need to know that I will not only get a beautiful picture of their family, but multiple, and that it's going to be fun. I'm sure a lot of people are nervous about being in front of a camera. They need to see themselves in my photos. A lot of times, Trish, it's about money because that's the only thing they know to ask about. But if you can demonstrate value in other ways, you can move away from that. So referrals, your track records, you might want to share some case studies. Clients never realize how overwhelming planning a wedding could be. Some stories about that from your clients could be interesting. Julia has been working on this. So when she gets an email, she directs them to 3 links on her blog: her about page, her wedding galleries, and her blog series that gives tips to couples planning their weddings. Yeah, it is a great idea. And we could work on fleshing that out into something that happens automatically. So the way you demonstrate value, other than price, is by selling the experience. You sell the benefits of what it is that the person is going to get. And a lot of people don't bother to do this. They make it about, here, you get this, and then you give me this money. And yeah, then that's what people are going to focus on. You can also deliver value on your blog by being selfless and creating helpful content. Okay, so they need to know that I'm interested and care for their vision. They'll want to know that I'll step in and ease the burden of organization. Okay. So introducing them to the fact that it can be a burden is going to be important for you, Jackie. They may not even know that. Pamela, nice. Sell this, not selling the steak, selling the sizzle. Exactly. Apple didn't sell an 8 GB iPod. Apple sold 1,000 songs in your pocket. That tells you what it does for you. All right. So I think you guys see how powerful this can be if applied in your business. And I want you to imagine having the confidence that comes with being in control of your marketing and your sales process instead of kind of just flailing. So this is from Ross Dean. And he said, when I implemented what I learned from Heidi, I found that I found that a lot more people were getting in touch with me via my website. Using the process I learned at Book More Weddings Academy, I was able to turn these people into warm leads and then into physical in-person consultations. When you focus on marketing to them over time, you've built a really good level of trust with them. So by the time you sit down with them, they already feel like they know you. And that makes your job a lot easier because you don't have to get into a hard sales pitch. And Ross is a photographer. This is from Jacqueline Campbell of Ivory and Rose. And she, as you can probably tell from the picture, is a cake company, runs a cake company, I should say. And she said, Heidi's Book More Weddings Academy helped me figure out exactly what I was doing wrong in my marketing and exactly how to change it. After going through Heidi's course, I now have confidence in my sales process. I no longer feel like a cheesy salesman, and I'm actually converting more leads into sales. Email marketing is now a very big asset in my business and has been instrumental in booking more clients. Heidi taught me how to blog properly, and now I'm coming up much higher in Google search rankings than my competitors. A year ago, I gave myself a deadline. If after a year I was still in the same place in business, I would close it. Now I'm in such a different place that closing my business isn't even an option. I have my plan now and I know where I'm going. Now I know I'm on the right path. So let's talk about you. You're here because you want to book more weddings, obviously. So you have a decision to make. Are you going to continue doing the things you've always done and get the results you've always got? Or would you prefer to take the shortcut and use a well-engineered, proven, step-by-step system for booking more weddings? I want to introduce you to Book More Weddings Academy, which you've heard mentioned a few times. And it is my complete step-by-step system that will take you from struggling to book weddings to attracting and booking all the weddings you need. It's the fastest way to go from struggling to thriving. Book More Weddings Academy is made up of 12 modules that will take you through the 4 steps we've covered here. But there's a lot more to it than just the course. But let's dig into exactly what the course covers. So step 1, the foundation. Module 1 is called How Trying to Appeal to Everyone is Sabotaging Your Business. And you'll learn why defining your ideal client can make or break your business, how to find your ideal client and build a marketing plan around that, when to say no to customers who are wrong for you, and an awesome free tool that's going to help you learn even more about your ideal client. In Module 2, we'll work on figuring out what you really sell and why people love you. I just touched on this when I was just talking about selling the benefits. So you'll learn how to determine what you really sell, and it is not what you think. How to figure out why people buy from you so you can then use that to amp up your marketing. How to figure out what you're an expert on, and yes, you are an expert. And how to use that expertise to set yourself apart from the competition. Module 3 is about setting yourself apart from the competition and also thinking collaboratively. And you'll learn how to figure out what sets you apart from your competition, how to use that difference in your marketing so that your competitors don't stand a chance, and how to analyze your competition and identify potential partners. Module 4 is how to use the KLT factor to book more weddings. And you'll learn how to, it looks like this one had copied. So in this module, you are going to learn what the KLT factor is and why it is so important to build this kind of rapport with your potential customers and how to use it to move your potential customers from kind of thinking about working with you to can't wait to work with you. Step 2 is building a blog that draws customers in like a magnet. And in Module 5, we'll be covering part 1 of this. And you're going to learn why it is the most important thing, one of at least, that you can do in your business and how to smash through any of the excuses you may have for not blogging. We'll talk about how the location of your blog can affect the impact it has on your business and what to write about on your blog. In part 2, which is Module 6, you'll learn how to create a simple blogging strategy, how to write great posts, even if you don't think you're any good at writing, how to get your blog posts in front of your ideal client once you've written them, and how to measure the success and impact of your blog posts. Step 3 is get couples salivating over the prospect of working with you. In Module 7, we'll be talking about how simple tweaks in the words you choose can increase sales. So you'll learn how to improve your sales by tweaking your website copy, how to demonstrate the value of what you do so that you get fewer price shoppers, and you'll get fewer and fewer over time as you implement this. And people are happy to pay what you charge. You'll also learn how to describe what you offer in a way that gets your potential clients excited to buy. Module 8 is how to get couples drooling over the idea of working with you. And you'll learn how to prove that you're a credible professional that they can trust and not an amateur. You'll learn how to get testimonials to do the selling for you, how to get excellent referrals from your customers, and why you need a great FAQ page and exactly how to go about creating one. So step 4 is, of course, getting couples to say, I do to you. So in Module 9, we're talking about how to take your customers from the first date to saying, I do. And you'll learn how sales is just like dating, even more in depth, and what that means for your sales cycle, and how to define your own sales cycle and systematize it so that it's easier for you to make sales. You'll learn the simple changes you need to make to your website to turn it into a lead generating machine, and the best tools and tips you can use to generate more leads. Module 10 is all about lead generation, or how to rock your first date with your potential customer. So you'll learn how email marketing can really turbocharge your sales cycle, what to offer in exchange for your potential client's email address, how to set it all up. So don't worry if you're not the most techie person in the world. I'll show you exactly how to set this up so you can start collecting leads, and how to promote your offer so that you can build a list of people who are interested in working with you. Module 11 is about nurturing your leads and making the sale, or from casually dating to saying I do. So you'll learn what to do with these leads that you're bringing in. You'll learn how to demonstrate how awesome you are while providing value through your email autoresponder and regular emails. And you'll learn how to convert your leads into customers and loyal advocates. Finally, in Module 12, we're focusing on measuring your success, and you'll learn how to track where your customers are coming from so that you can focus your marketing on just those sources, how to determine your best traffic sources, and then what to do with that information, and how to determine what your most popular content is so you can do more of what works and less of what doesn't. That's the goal, right? So, you might be thinking, what else is included? Well, lifetime access to all 12 of the modules. You'll get access to the members-only Facebook group where you can connect with your fellow students and alumni who've gone through this before, ask questions, share your challenges, and swap success stories. And depending on which package you choose, and yes, I've created 3 different packages for you, you'll get 6 group coaching calls where I'll answer your burning questions, get you past any stumbling blocks, and make sure that you succeed. Recordings of our group coaching calls. So if you can't make a call live, you can submit your question in advance and just listen to the recording later. An in-depth review of both your website and your autoresponder email series that you'll be creating in the course so you can improve it to bring in more leads. I've got some bonuses for you. You'll get my super simple blogging system. It's a full play-by-play of the systems I use to produce, distribute, and email blog content to my list. And you'll be watching over my shoulder, courtesy of a screencast video. You'll get the Wedding Marketer's Toolkit, which is a complete guide to every system and tool I have running in my business. And you'll find a how-to for each of my favorite tools, including Hootsuite, Evernote, and my best friend for life, Buffer. You'll get your blog post promotion checklist. So if you're wondering, what do I do when I write these blog posts? How do I get this in front of my ideal clients? This checklist is going to give you the rundown of everything you need to know about promoting your blog posts, from how to get them in front of your ideal client and how to automate that and make it easier for you. You'll get my productivity hacks handbook because a lot of people struggle with time management. So you'll get my favorite tips and tricks to kick procrastination in the backside and make the most of your time. You'll get the email template I use to get testimonials that sell for me, and you'll get 3 email autoresponder templates that you can use in your autoresponder. They're done for you. They're ready to go. Use them how you like. You'll walk away with a proven system in place that brings in new leads and helps turn them into customers for you. a clear picture of who your ideal client is, what they need, where to find them, so that you can focus on attracting them and only them. No more of those price shoppers. The confidence that comes along with being in control of your marketing and sales process. A sales process that is so much simpler and easier, and that means no more hard sales for you. And the confidence in where you should focus your time and your money. You'll have the know-how to measure what works so you can do more of it and less of what doesn't. You'll have a mentor, that's me, to advise you, and a group of your peers to support you when you're feeling stuck. Happens to all of us. You'll have a better, more genuine way to sell that doesn't make you feel like a used car salesman. You'll have the structure that you need to stay on track with your marketing and not fall off the wagon, and a system for generating more inquiries from potential clients who are ready to invest in working with you on their dream wedding. So I want you to ask yourself, what is the cost of all of the weddings you're not booking right now? Now, there are 3 different packages at different prices, and each one of them has a payment plan to make it easier for you. So let's go through them. This is the complete package. This is for you if you are ready to stomp on the gas pedal and get the most out of this as fast as you can. So you'll get the lifetime access, the members only Facebook group, the coaching calls, recordings. You'll get an in-depth review of your website that I will do for you. You will get an in-depth review of your autoresponder series, which I will do for you, and all of the bonuses that we just covered. Total value of this is $3,385, but I'm not going to charge you that much. Your price is $1,497, and there is a payment plan, like I said, for each one of these. Next, we got the middle package, and you will get the lifetime access, the Facebook group, the coaching calls, the recordings of the coaching calls. You won't get the in-depth review of your website or the in-depth review of your autoresponder series. And you'll get all of the bonuses. So the total value of this one is $2,385, and your price, $997. And there's a payment plan for this one too. Or you could opt for the basic package, which is the more budget option. You just want to dig into the course and get to work. You'll get lifetime access to all 12 of the modules, access to the members only Facebook group. You won't get the group coaching calls, the recordings, the in-depth website review, or the in-depth autoresponder review, but you will get all of the bonuses that I've gone over. The total value of that, $1,185. Your price, $697. And there's a payment plan for that one too. So you'll recoup the cost of this program in no time and find that it pays for itself time and time again over the lifespan of your business. This is something that's going to work for you forever. And for many of you, you're going to recoup the cost in booking just 1 or 2 additional weddings. I'm also offering a 100% money back guarantee. So if you join and you decide that this just is not for you, let me know within 30 days of the course starting, and I will be happy to give you your money back. No problem. I like to have happy customers, and people who are paying for things that they don't like usually aren't that happy. So I want to make you happy. But it's decision time. Now, Book More Weddings Academy is only available twice a year. It won't be available again until autumn 2015. I haven't decided exactly what month I'll be offering it in. Book More Weddings Academy is open for enrollment through February 1st. It closes on February 1st, the end of the day, Pacific time. And by end of the day, I mean literally end of the day, 11:59 p.m. Pacific. And the course itself begins on February 2nd. Now remember, there are payment plans, so take advantage of them. Don't let feeling like you have to pay in full hold you back. So to enroll in Book More Weddings Academy, you can visit bookmoreweddingsacademy.com/join or click the button below the video. And once you sign up, you'll get a confirmation. You'll set up your login details and you'll get access to the members area. So I'm sure I've missed quite a bit in this time in the chat box. So if you have a question, and don't be shy, enter it in the chat box below. And you'll find all of the details of all of these plans on that page as well. Jen loves Buffer too. Such an awesome tool. Fred2362 says, I just need to find the right clients who really want my services and are willing to pay what it costs and what I'm worth. And a lot of that has to do with your marketing too. Oh, Ashley, I hate student loans too. Okay, just scrolling through the questions here. The payment plan, Jen, is over 3 months. So if you click the button below the video, it'll show you exactly how each one of those breaks down. Yes, it's that big red button. Okay, you'd like me to go over the pricing again? Okie dokie. I can do that. So the complete package, which is everything including the coaching calls and the in-depth website review and in-depth review of the autoresponder series, is $1,497. There are payment plans for all of these. The middle package, which has the coaching calls but does not have the in-depth review of your website or your autoresponder series, is $997. Also has a payment plan available on the site. And the basic package, which is lifetime access, by the way, no matter what you sign up for, you're going to get lifetime access to the course. You'll get access to the members only Facebook group and the bonuses, but not the coaching calls, the recordings, the review of your website, or the review of your autoresponder. That is $697. And that also has a payment plan, which you'll see on the page. Sue asked, is it better to go for the basic package now? Can you get the other benefits later? That is a good question. You will have up until the first coaching call to upgrade, which is about a week into the course. Otherwise, you would have to wait until the next time I launch this, which won't be until the autumn. Alexandra asked, is that pounds or US dollars? That is US dollars. If you function in pounds, you get an even better deal because the pound is so strong right now. Yeah, Aloha Dave, that sounds like a very common thing that I hear. The thing is those are all tactics. And if you don't have your marketing foundation and your marketing strategy in place, you can do all the tactics in the world, but it's not going to do anything for you. And Reds, if you're having a new website made soon, you might want to think about choosing the option with the website review so we can make sure it's converting really well for you. Anon 4038, I'm only starting my business, therefore I didn't start booking clients yet, but I want to start properly. Yes, this would be appropriate for you. Michelle Novanti, the first testimonial I shared with you, she joined, I think she had booked like 2 or 3 clients. Yeah, Jen, it'd be great to have you if you can, and if you could take advantage of a payment plan, if that makes sense for you. Otherwise, it won't be offered again until close to the end of the year. So if booking more weddings is in your 2015 goals, act on this. And remember that enrollment is open now, right now, and you can go to the site and sign up anytime between now and February 1st. But that's it. It closes on February 1st because we start on February 2nd. You're welcome, Jen. And then $22.96, I'm rebranding right now. Would it be better to have you look at my current site and brand which is going away? Well, it might be better to review your current site so that we can make sure that your rebranded site is totally kicking ass when it's finished. So, are there any other questions? Keep in mind there are payment plans and enrollment does close on February 1st. Thank you, Trish. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to join me today. I'd love to have you be part of Book More Weddings Academy. But even if you choose not to, I hope you learned something today. And I hope that whatever it is that you learned, you're going to go implement, because you can learn all day. Doesn't mean a thing unless you implement it. Anon 4038, can you assist in building a website? I do have someone that I refer people to and that I work with that I could point you to, but I don't build websites myself. Sorry, Imaging USA is on what dates? Oh, thanks, guys. I'm really happy that you've enjoyed this today. I've had a lot of fun being on here with you. Oh, right. I guess I should point out too, it's just that the last day to sign up is February 1st. You don't actually have to do anything on February 1st or on February 2nd. The first module will be available to you on February 2nd, but you don't have to show up live or anything like that. You are very welcome, Ashley. Happy to help. And if you jump off of this webinar and a question comes to you later, feel free to email me. All right, I am going to end the webinar, but I will hang out in the chat for a little bit longer just to make sure that all of your questions have been addressed. So thank you again for joining me today, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in Book More Weddings Academy. Bye for now.